بإسلامي وإيماني أضاء الكون وزمن بإسلامي وإيماني أضاء الكون وزمن.
الحمد لله وصلى الله وسلم على وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى أهله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Alhamdulillah for bringing us together for another great discussion. I always start with this blessing of life thing. I don't know, it has become a usual thing. So anytime we have a discussion, I always, thank Allah for giving us the opportunity to see another day, because it's really a blessing that a lot of people, including myself or myself inclusive, we really underrate this blessing of life. Sometimes when we think about doing things, we just automatically feel we are going to see tomorrow. We make plans for the end of the year, we make plans for next year, we make plans for 5 years, but all of these things still, fall back to Allah, right? If Allah wills, then, we are alive till then. And if Allah does not will, we are not alive till then. So I think that's where I always like to start with thanking Allah for giving us the opportunity to meet again. Now, so today, inshallah, I'll be talking about something that is kind of trend. I don't know if I should call it trending. It has been trending for a couple of years now in Nigeria and in a lot of other countries. So in Nigeria, we call it japa. So it's called japa, which is more or less like traveling, leaving Nigeria for a foreign country usually is in search of greener pastures. Yeah, so that's maybe a way to summarize it. But before we go into details, I think it's better to really define what we are talking about first before we start talking, so that we don't start making assumption about something that we think we agree on that we don't agree on. So I want to start by asking Hassan to just, how do you define japa? If you want to define japa to someone, maybe in 2-3 sentences, how would you do that?
No, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So, japa for me, I think it's just like you said, it's basically living wherever you are for somewhere else in search of greener pastures. That's like, it is very, very encompassing. It is much more nuanced than that, because some people, greener pastures is very, very subjective.
No.
As objective as it seems like it is never always greener. It will be greener in some ways and it will be darker in other places. Now, what value system do you use? Is it greener Islamically but darker infrastructurally? Is it darker infrastructurally? Is it greener infrastructurally but darker Islamically? And a lot of things like that. But I think the big summary will be to leave your country of origin for another place, really another place, in search of better life conditions. Now, that's what I am.
Now, so from what you said now, the better life condition is something that is decided by the individual, right? That, okay, they decide the yardstick that, okay, this is what better life condition is, and I'm not getting that here, so I'm looking for that, so I'm going to another place to find that.
Yeah.
All right.
Which is one thing that we should also like, and alhamdulillah, I think we've made it very, very clear. We are Muslims.
No.
So we'll now point to what is a better life condition for a Muslim. That would not be a question like, okay, because to be frank, there is this hive mentality. Although let's just start the discussion later. Let me just return to debating back.
All right, now. So I'm going to ask Ustad as well to maybe give a definition, maybe a more scholarly definition of Walaikum salam.
Actually, seriously, the word japa, I've been hearing it for long, that people saying japa, but I've not gotten the real concept till, as in just recently, and I said, okay, because I thought that maybe it's just a slang, normal slang people used to say like japa, japa, japa. But recently I now found out, okay, this is the meaning of japa, japa. So basically, to my own findings and what I've come to realize about japa is that quite in a short way is someone to leave his own comfort zone because that place is not like as in conducive to for that person, or because now because this is one of the topic that I discussed with some people a few weeks back, that because there are some people leaving their comfort zone just because that the law of that place is not as an don't suit their own needs. Then so they will now go to somewhere else that it will be difficult for people to criticize them on what they are doing. Actually, so this is what I see as a japa in my own understanding. Just to leave their own zone, just to go and meet up with their needs somewhere else. That was it.
That's an interesting. I like the fact that we have at least two varied, or maybe like three varied definitions, and I think that also helps us to really get into the conversation. So, I maybe let's just try to put together some of the reasons why people leave the country. So, I have a list here. So, the first reason I have here is maybe people look for better life, like better amenities. So, when you talk about social amenities, right, we're talking about road, electricity, maybe transportation, railway system. So maybe those are some of the major reasons some people leave the country for other countries. So other reasons are security, another reason is education, and then I have one here which is IDRA, which has a question mark. So I put a question mark there. I mean, that's part of what we are going to be discussing today, inshallah. But those were some of the things I put up. I don't know if you have some other things I missed out, or are there things you think I missed out from this list?
Well, if we want to get very, very, very straightforward, I have a few of them that are not there.
Okay.
But they are also they are maybe, I don't know, maybe because of my own age slash peer group,
okay,
I might be open to much more of those things. For example, I think peer pressure is one of them.
True.
Now, peer pressure is a leeway to a lot of things, and everything links back to all of the things that you've already said. For example, Wallahi, I think Nigeria is not the best of states right now when it comes to security wise. No. And it is very, very understandable for people to think, oh, let me just leave. Unfortunately, we know that wherever you are, when is your time, you are going, really. You are going. But no, obviously, that's not a way to convince someone not to leave a non-secured Nigeria. That's one. So you will have a lot of your peer people to tell you that, oh, Nigeria is so bad. Oh, you cannot buy anything with this. Let's move to the US. Really? So peer pressure in the light of all of those things that you've already said, that is one. The second thing is also, I think, sheer lack of knowledge. It's also one of those. Because a lot of us, we are exposed to half knowledge. And I think half knowledge is worse than, I don't know if it's worse than no knowledge, bro. Why? What do I mean by half knowledge? If I can explain.
No, I think the Ustaz should explain that. I think.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let me talk. I'm not even going to the deen. Like, I'm not even going to the deen at all. Like, I'm going to stay very, very secular. Anything that I'll literally not say it.
No.
This one is more. It's very, very secular. For example, a lot of people watch films. A lot of people check the social media. Literally, we know what the PR version of the United States look like. Many of us have never been there. Just feel like, oh, that is the version of the confirmest best country. That's how it's supposed to look like. And because obviously look into the future, we don't see Nigeria becoming any much like that. We just want to do anything that it takes, also in the light of all of the things that you've already listed, to get us what? That place, that virtual utopia. So it's half knowledge, because basically, if somebody has traveled to the US and come back, they'll tell you, oh, US, I've been to the Bronx, all of those things like that. It's different from someone that's never been there. You just want to leave, literally, for any reason you want to leave. So those are like the two things I think also. So you start can now maybe talk more about the half knowledge with regards to the dean too, which I think doesn't exist, but I don't have anything to say about that.
All right. No. So I don't know if Ustad also has something to add to that list.
MashaAllah, Wallahi, my Akhi has said it all.
No.
But Alhamdulillah, so I want to emphasize on that hijrah that you mentioned. Seriously, it's a big point there. So hijrah, as in there's one misconception that people used to get on this, that Muslims need to know on this hijrah. So hijrah, like what we've known, or the hadith that is popular, that usually discuss about the hijrah is the one for that Nawawi, the first hadith, which say that فَمَنْ كَانَتْ هِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ فَهِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ, and to the end of the hadith. So now people are thinking that what hijrah means is to leave a place to another place, but which is not like that. So now people are not even using the word hijrah, that I want to do hijrah, how to do hijrah, but the real meaning of hijrah is you leaving a kufr country to a Muslim country, because this happened within my community last Ramadan, because we noticed that most of the Muslims, they went, as in they relocated to Christian community, and I interrogated most of them, and was most of their reasons that one, they are safe there, and we now anything we start fighting, we start something like that. So I mean, these are their reasons that they're saying that but what I later came about is that just because, like what I've mentioned earlier, because they won't be criticized on what they are doing there. Because anything that they are doing, just why this is not this un-Islamic, and why are you doing this? But there, nothing will happen. So the real hijrah is you leaving Kufr country back to a Muslim country. So that everything lillah, not for people. But the problem here is that we are doing most of our things just to please people. That now, if I start doing this now, people say that that you are not doing this. See, even there was one Christian that told me that why is it that during Ramadan, most of our Muslims brothers, they used to come to their own, they used to relocate back to their own community. As in, is a Christian guy that was asking me this. That so because there, no one will notice, no one will criticize them. So they will do. Then after the Ramadan, they will come back and they'll start living their lives, something like that. So I think that hijrah, this is what. So this is just the misconception. It's not just about traveling. So, but the real hijrah is you living where as a kufr country to a Muslim country. So that's just my point that I just want to emphasize on.
Mashallah. So I want to quickly ask a question. I want to just start a conversation from there. So based on what you just said now, so what about a situation whereby the standard of living in the Muslim country, let's assume, I want to assume Nigeria is more Muslim country than so many of the countries people go to, right? So but let's now assume that the situation of things in Nigeria is not so nice in terms of security, in terms of social amenities, in terms of those things. So in that case, what is, I don't know how to put that question. I'm not
Okay,
I don't know if you get the points, right?
Let's get something clear. So as in traveling to, even there's one thing that used to happen here too, that you see a Muslim brother saying that I can't study here. Because no, it's wrong. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that utlub al-ilm walau bi-sin. So Prophet Muhammad made use of sin, that's China. And as we've all known that China is one of the, as in they are 99% here. Then as in they are mostly as Hindu, like all these what's the their gods
Chinese
are this,
people. Yeah.
right? This,
Yeah.
Buddhist. But Prophet Muhammad still say that you should seek for knowledge, even though it will be in as in China country. So you going to another country that is better country to seek for a better. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh,
So
is
there's
it
nothing.
to seek for better life condition or to seek for knowledge?
So anything.
Okay.
So
All right.
see, Allah created us just for as in for us to look for a something that will sweet our heart. So that's what Allah has created us. So that's why Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu said that when Allah created the heart, He created it as He surrounded it with as in things that are good, that are sweet. So that's why our heart usually moves to something sweeter. But while if it is, but the hard things like the work that we will do to as in to move us to Al-Jannah, that is those are the works that will not say that our heart doesn't like praying now. Like someone said that I would like pray Zuhr, ask the Maghrib. This is hard now, but but for the other things, our heart will do that. This like now. Just imagine. Sorry for me making this as an example here. Just imagine that they allow zina just for one day. What will happen? Just imagine. Even the sheikh that you don't believe will also commit. So because no one but we restricted ourselves. Why? Because of Islamic law governing that don't do this. So we are not praying and just striving that inshallah. So we try as much as possible to as in to look after ourselves without committing those things. But normally Allah created our heart for betterment, just to enjoy only. So now seeking for knowledge or anything outside, so there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. So but let me make use of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And again, like I emphasize that do you believe that there are some Muslims brothers now that they say that they can't study from a Christian, and which is wrong? So you can study anywhere, but just pick the one that will suit your that will suit our own aqidah. Now, when Prophet Muhammad was living in Mecca, he made mention of one statement. He said that لولا أن قومي أخرجوني minki. That is, he was talking to Mecca, that if it's not because of my people that are sending me away from you now, second to till I die, I won't ever leave this place. So and just imagine what was happening then in Mecca. As in, they were frustrating him and everything, and all bad thing as in was happening then. But Prophet Muhammad still showed love to Mecca, that if it's not because of my people, as in chasing me out of you, I would have stayed here till I die. So that's why that's when Allah now later told him in Quran that inna alladhi farada alayka Quran la radduka ila ma'ad, that I will surely return you back to Mecca, inshallah. And it happened. So something like that. So it's not all about going. And again, so that's why you see, as in there are a lot of things governing this hijrah. So you know that there's even hikmah in Muhammad Sallallahu saying that a lady should not travel alone. So, but maybe I should just wait small till I should just wait till later. Then,
okay.
But that's so someone can go for any, even though it's for betterment or anything for knowledge, you can go and seek there. So, but don't forget that your country will always be your country.
No, inshallah. I think Hassan wanted to add something to that, right?
Okay.
No, not really. I think he has said the bulk of like the things, core of the things he has already said. I think the only thing I just wanted to like is like a question slash observation. I think from my observation, a lot of people that live like japa, most of us already have our team, alhamdulillah. However correct it is. Okay, I also wanted to mention that a lot of people do anti-hijra, they don't do it.
Okay.
That's the first thing I wanted to say. But the second one was like, all of us already have our deen, we already have our like our kid, everything there. So it seems like to me, the question now is like, is it okay to move solely because of like no other things, all things being equal, solely because of knowledge? And I think you already answered that. Like, yes, it is okay. Can go out, go for knowledge. So that was the question I wanted to ask. And you already answered that. So exactly.
And I
I
think,
don't really...
can I add something else, please? I'm sorry.
Maybe before you had something else,
Okay, okay,
let me give you another thing to add to that.
okay, okay.
Yeah. So, but what about, or let me just say, when you want to say what you want to say next, I want you to add to it, like, what are the things that one needs to put in place? Because I believe if someone is doing anti-Hijra, like Hassan said, so what are some things that one needs to put in place? Because you can't just say, okay, there's no problem with it, but there's also the possibility that the deen might suffer based on that kind of transition. So what are things that one needs to put in place? Maybe you can add that to what you would
Okay.
say.
So what I just want to add that even me right now, I used to recommend a Muslim going to a kufr country because now how would they know about Islam now? Because now I think now most of us now we are everything social media, and now a lot of things are happening on social media now that are not okay. Now see what happened to in this recently Qatar, that most of them say that but all what they've been seeing on social media are not, so it means that they are fake. So they witnessed the real Islam there, as in, and then when the Zakir Naik, so so what they've been hearing about Islam, so it's not like that. So that's why I even recommend people that even to do jihad now, just go there because that's where they will truly know what Islam is. So we have to, so Prophet Muhammad lived with as an in Mecca for how many years? For 53 years.
No,
53 years.
no.
Because he became messenger at the age of 40, and he used another 13 years after that in Mecca before my getting back to Medina. So as in we have to live with them, but that's why that's why the scholars used to say, but casual friends, not mutual friends. But we have to live with them and show them love. So that's why it's not, so we can't condemn in totality that you, as in, we should just forsake the Kufu country totally. No. But back to your question, like what we've said, that our heart, Allah created it with. There are some people that, especially the ladies, they can, as in, they can be easily, as in, they can be changed easily. So we want someone that at least, inshallah, that the Aqidah is so strong that even no matter what happened, that so and see what happened during Muhammad's time with Bilal, when his master noticed that he has accepted Islam. So they frustrated him, but see it is still so no, 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 no. Why? There are some people that they accepted Islam with him, but they later changed. That because that can't keep on with this suffering. So they have to change. It means that their iman is not that strong. So that's why I used to recommend that if someone is going there, so how sure are we that your iman is so strong that you can't be changed? Well, there was one scholar that I was reading, as in was it yesterday, that as in they sold him to America during all this slave something like so, but he later converted to Christianity just because of that. So so you traveling, we should make sure that the Akida is there fully, that inshallah, no matter how, that thing will still be there. Because there are some people, what we are just afraid of, so we don't know future. We know, so we are just dealing with present. So it's only Allah that knows about future. So because they want to ask, so that's why sorry for me chipping in this, when they once asked Sheikh Uthaymeen about marrying someone that is not like her, you know that most of the Muslims brothers now just say that, Kai, this girl, I love this girl, let me marry this lady because but inshallah, I will change her later. You know what? These are things that are happening now. That say, inshallah, I will change her, but inshallah, I will change her once she entered my house. The answer the Sheikh Othman gave them was that, so what about she's the one that later changed you? So what will happen?
Deep.
See now? So which means we don't know about future. It's Allah that knows future. So deal with your present now. So before going, make sure that your Akida is strong. That inshallah that your that is so strong that no matter what will happen, and you will still be steadfast on Islam, that inshallah, no matter how, because I'm telling you, a lot of things are happening even within here.
True. Within Nigeria.
Well, like that's what I was telling someone yesterday. I didn't mean the parent can mount a camera on their children and to see what school. A lot of people cancel schools. I'm telling you. So just within our own country, so talk less of someone going to that extra. You understand? So I don't.
No.
I'm not saying that going outside there is no. So you can go, but make sure that please that everything is put in. So that's why we always advise our, like, especially if someone is underage like that, so they should always go with someone with them, not only them. So not just like that. So that's what I will recommend, that they should make sure the Akida is there, and they should make sure that someone that is trusted is with those people. That's all. And everything would be all right, inshallah.
No, mashallah. You have really said a lot. So one of the things I want to pick from that is the part where you talk about marrying someone and claiming that one will change the person. I think it's just the same as, traveling to another country and claiming that you go and convert people to
Thank you.
There's that possibility that
what about later you are the one that is affected? So what will happen?
Exactly. There's that possibility. So I also want to add that the Akida part that you mentioned, I want to give an analogy. It's almost like somebody is trying to build a house, right?
Yeah.
You start with the foundation. So if your foundation is strong enough, like the foundation in this case is like the Akida, right? So the foundation of the religion is like the Akida. So if the Akida is very strong, it's going to be very difficult to take the house down, right? But if the foundation is bad, there are this foundation. I don't know. When I came to the north, when I came to Kaduna,
in a nutshell, that's what Allah said. In the nutshell, that Allah has already created the earth with all these bad things. So I think we are given that chance in Islam. So everybody will just misuse it. So that's why you just have to be very, very careful.
Yeah. So I also wanted to mention this foundation I used to see in Kaduna. When I came to Kaduna, I used to see foundation that was small like this. I was wondering, people build houses with small, tiny foundations, like 1 block, 2 blocks foundation. That's not a foundation. That's the recipe for disaster. Anyways, let's move on. Let's move on. So I think we've also kind of covered the lack of knowledge part that Hassan talked about earlier. So by seeking the knowledge of Akida, seeking knowledge of the Deen, I think those would help equip the person with some of the essential tool sets to withstand the challenge out there. Because really, sincerely, talking as someone that has been out there for some time, it is really, really challenging. Sincerely, very, very challenging. It's not like it's not challenging in Nigeria as well, but the environment is still a little bit different from this kind of environment. Allah makes things easy for people. May Allah is our fears. So okay, yeah, I think we've covered the major things, but Hassan wanted to say something. You raised your hand. Yeah. Oh, your hand is still raised.
Now, so I wanted to mention one thing. I've never really been outside of Nigeria, so I don't know how it is, but at least from hearing people talk, and also the fact that Islam is not at best a individualistic religion. If I can explain, like we go to Juma every Friday. If we don't see our brothers, we ask about them. Brother, where are you? And sick when they are not feeling fine. Well, literally, the community is a very, very important part of Islam. So this is like a question / observation. I have worked with several white people. I don't know. And I think, and also maybe from social media, it's like their community is not as closely knit as us, at least in Nigeria. I
No,
don't know if you
no.
can compare that. So, in the light of Islam, and somebody going outside of the country, is there something that they should know with regards to the community? Because I think Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam also enjoyed that Muslim that we should work with people of good characters. What if
No.
you can't even find Muslims there?
Hmm.
What if, for example, I are going to Russia now, like, I want to relocate to Russia? The amount of Muslims per unit square in that place is, oh, God. Let me go to the UK. Yeah, there are a substantial number of Muslims in the UK. But Russia, so what's your take? I'm just asking generally, both of you, that at least you have seen more. What do you think about that?
Maybe I should go first. So that question it's kind of like a tough question, right? Because there are like two ways I want to use to answer it. One way is the way Ustav mentioned earlier, that we are kind of like, maybe it's kind of part of our responsibility to help spread the Islam, right? So if it's part of our responsibility to spread Islam, maybe it's not necessarily a bad thing if you go to a place where there are not too many Muslims. Do you understand? Yeah, so that way, maybe you have the opportunity to do more dawah and things like that. But on the other side of things, which is something we've also mentioned, community helps one build strength. So if you have that community and you have a good community around you, and sometimes when you are just slacking, you are slacking on your faith, your iman is dropping, and you just meet one brother like that, and that brother, you talk to the brother, the brother gives you some kind of motivation, and then your morale boosts, and then you're like, I was be like, let me stop doing this thing that I'm doing. Or you find one brother, and maybe the brother finds you safe. Maybe it's even the brother that finds you doing something and say, brother, calls you to one corner and say, brother, this thing you are doing, I was be like, it's prohibited, and this, it's not beneficial for you. So, and I think those are the things that come with having that kind of Muslim community. So for me, I would really stick to, or I would prefer, or I would recommend, going to a place where there's some form of community. Or when you get to those places, it's very good to find, the Muslim community, or find people around you that are Muslims that are practicing, and you can connect with them and you can grow together in the deen. It's really essential, just like I said. It helps to strengthen one's faith in some ways as well. That's just what I wanted to say about that. Maybe Ustav can also give more.
Yeah, I think what I would like to add to here is that or let me give an example with what happened recently again, because they called me for one event to give a speech on like relationship in Islam.
Okay.
So then I raised one alarm regarding the ladies hacker, so something like that. So because I found out now that most ladies now, especially the Muslim ladies, they used to follow more of Christian guys. So then I raised the issue because then someone wrote it on a paper. Then as in the answer, because I asked, and I know that answer will be somehow difficult for a lady to stand up and give an answer. So then I instructed them to write it on a paper if you can't say it outside. So believe me, someone wrote that. Someone wrote that she thinks that the Christian guys are more romantic than the Muslim guys.
I was be like,
you see, go that she thinks that the Muslims everything haram. You see, go that any small thing haram, Muslim, this haram, any small thing. You see now that is leaving your comfort zone because that thing is not suitable with your own life. So you move it to else. So now this is what I'm. So that's when I will now raise this issue now that is it that someone going back to, let's say someone is going to Russia, for example, for knowledge. Have we tried other Muslim countries first? Is it that thing we can't find that answer within our locality before moving outside? So that's the question that you have to raise. Now, this Kaduna, this recently, so that's why I'm happy. So when I first saw the topic, you know that it's like 1 hour ago. So I said that
No.
this like it's now corresponding with most of the things that happened recently with me. I'm telling you. So that's why I'm happy that I will try as much as possible to be part of this discussion this evening. So because I still raise one issue again recently now that you will see Muslim parents now taking their children to a Christian schools. And you will even notice now there's this Murik president that he raised alarm to us this last week that the Muslim parents should be careful about the universities that they are, especially the private universities owned by a Christian, that most of them they used to change the orientation of the children later. And it's true. So this is what is happening now. So they will take a child to a Christian school, hoping that because why? If you ask them why, because they have better curriculum. They have better, but without them knowing what will happen at the end. So that's why I now ask that, have you searched for a Muslim schools? Have you searched and no one within your, within all your states, within your local government, you can't find a single Islamic schools? And then you are going that it's only Christian school that has this. So these are just that we are just looking for betterment. That was it. So because we believe that we can do it. So that's why I want to ask. There's nothing wrong going there, but are we safe? Now, there's one issue that I raise now. If anything should happen now I'm in Kaduna State. So that's why seriously I hate traveling. I hate traveling. So that's me for you. I hate traveling. And why? One of the reasons is that safety first. The reason why is that let's say, is it 2010 in Kaduna State during when is it 2011? Sorry, 2011 when Buhari lost his the election. So they call that election CPC. So they changed it to a riot in Kaduna State. Believe me, that time I was inside mosque doing my tafid, and they would have even killed me now. You know why? But Alhamdulillah, what saved me that I had to jump to another house that they know me very well. Please, can that happen in let's say America? It can happen. You are not safe. See now, what happened in during the South Africa this thing that they killed most of the Nigerians, where because they have nowhere to run to, they don't know them. So, but you are here, as in you are in Nigeria. So if anything should happen, you know where to run to.
With your own people.
Yes, it's still my people. But what happened then in South Africa? One of the reasons that led to that killings a lot, because they don't know where to run to. That if I should go here now, so am I safe there? So that's what led to. So that's why let us search first. This one. So can we get this in this? So if there's that's when they now allowed someone to go outside, that you search for it. And we've seen that seriously. Even I'm also thinking of even going out seriously. So yes, but still yet I still used to think about that can I get this? So if I don't get this, then I'll now move on. So that's the thing that I've said about someone choosing maybe Russia over something. No, let us first look within our localities. Can we find that? Because that's where we are safe first.
Even can we find an alternative?
Now,
can we find an alternative?
Yes. So if you can find that alternative, then we can now move out. So Muhammad sent some Sahabas outside to search for knowledge and then come back. Yeah, it's allowed. There's nothing wrong, but within ourselves first. So then we will now move out, inshallah. Because be careful of is Akida. And the scholars have already said that we don't know about future. So let's just deal with present. So present is our own. White future is for Allah. So let's live in the future. So we should be working on present, not future. that,
Mm.
inshallah, I trust my girl, I trust my boy, nothing will happen. I trained her, okay? The kind of hallelujah I have given him, he can't change, nothing can happen. Nothing can happen, inshallah. See, I will still repeat it. If the parent can mount a camera on their children, yeah. Maybe they even born this woman. I'm telling you. So that was it.
All right. Mashallah, Jazakumullah khair. That's a really great, interesting, and nice perspective. I think Hassan wants to talk.
So what I just wanted to like add from what I got from what Ustaz just said is like, it seems like may Allah help us. There's this rage, there's this growing thing about increased non-Islamism of Muslims. I don't know if I'm putting it down very, very well. Like, they are Muslims, but they are not Muslims. And the Prophet has taught us a lot. It's just everything just boils down to sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Everything boils down to knowledge. Wallahi. Being romantic is part of Islam. If only we knew.
No,
if only we
True.
And a lot of other things that we strive to find outside of the deen. There are things that are actually in the deen that other people copy from us, and then they made it like, oh,
thank you. That's it. So that's why. Sorry for cutting you, please. I'm sorry. Even then, when the lady wrote that, because the Muslim guys are not romantic, that the Christian guys. So I even made a joke that have you tried it? For you to say that. I will tell you like that. Because it's just that there are some things that are allowed, just that because, as in, I don't know, like this all our things, as in they brainwash them that I don't know what happened. But I'm just it's happening a lot. Wallahi, you see, as in you see Muslim ladies, I'm telling you, they say Christian. So, and so we just have to go. They'll say anything haram. Oh, is that the case? See, it means that. So the last comment I did there, that I made them was I told them that al khabithatu lil khabithin, wal khabithun lil khabithat. So if you are good, surely you will believe that you will see someone good. So then I told them that something that is good, they can never walk along with something that is bad. And if you are bad, you can never go along with something that is good. So if you are good, surely Allah will, inshallah, if it's not from test from Allah, because Allah has tested some of the prophet, like Prophet Lut. So he is a prophet, and again Allah tested him with the wife. But inshallah, if it's not a test from Allah, if you are good, surely you will meet someone that is good. But if you are commenting on this, initially your mind is bad. That was it. Initially, you are not good. That's what it is. So, but how can you say that a Christian guy is more romantic than a Muslim guy? Why like that? So thank you, Yaakov. Please, I'm sorry for.
No problem. I think it's even good that you like. It's very, very good. It's just something that I have noticed, and I'm not even trying to even pin it down specifically on this our discussion, because if we sit down and start to open it, it's a lot of things for real. Like even the fact that a lot of things that we do are choices as Muslims. The way we talk, the way we dress, literally our Islam. It seems like we depend on a modernization of some sort to validate it, and it's messed up.
Yeah.
Because, for example, now, like you said that if we have no reason, like yes, it's good. Yeah, I'm categorically saying this. 95% of Muslims are not, okay, I think the start has left. 95% of Muslims are most likely not sheikhs.
No.
The 5%, yes, they are the sheikhs. They are most likely the set of people that will be able to do some things, able to say some things. But trust me, who do you find saying all of these things? They are the big 95% that are saying the things that they're not supposed to say and doing things they're not supposed to do. So I think just one thing that comes, everything just circles back to knowledge. That once we have that knowledge, once we ask those questions that we need to ask from the credible sources, And once we stop feeling like we are second-class citizens of the world just by being Muslims, I think from that point, that is when we will start to see some things much more clearly. We'll be able to go to, for example, look at the way Qatar is dealing with the world now. They want to do LGBTQ. Well, sorry, you cannot do it here. That's it. Want to do this? You cannot do it here. That's it. That's respect. No problem. No fight.
Yeah,
But
just it.
some people will say, yeah, no, why are they so backwards? Imagine Muslims saying Muslims are backwards.
Of which
So I
backward
think
is a backward
I
is
understand.
relative.
Yeah, exactly. So it's everything boils back to knowledge. Like I think everyone should. I think and every episode that we do, we always go back to that. Like seeking
Yes.
knowledge is very important. Like that's what make you know what to ask, where to ask it. When you get those answers, which of those to take? Which answer is even correct in the light of what and the what? But when we don't have it, we'll just be Christianized version of Muslims. We'll be the one that we want
Or
them
no,
to know that
let's
this
just say westernized.
Westernized, yeah, westernized.
Not Christianized actually.
Westernized, westernized. But even most people there too, they are like, hey,
Yeah.
you don't want to go into that place, but you get the point. You get the point.
All
I
right.
think we can.
I think we should round up. It's God pray. So that's I actually wanted to bring up some more things, maybe 2 points, but let me just mention the points and then we can round up. So it will be like suspense to the people listening. So the first thing I want to bring up here is that there's this hadith that talks about the this hadith says that there will be a time that Muslims will be in multitude, but we will be very I can't remember the word. Like we'll be attacked as people eat, like as people are feeding on a dish. Do you know the hadith? Let
No,
me
I don't.
see. Yeah, I have the hadith open there, but the English translation cannot be like the Arabic translation. But the part of their hadith is the last part when they asked the Prophet that was the reason for that thing that will happen to Muslims. So he now said the reason is the love of the world and the dislike of death. I actually wanted the Ustaz to go from that perspective, and it's more or less like the diagnosis of all of the problems, right? The diagnosis of all of these problems that we are talking about. So I think it still boils down to love of this world and fear of death. Because if you think about it, why would somebody give up his akhirah for this dunya when he knows that, okay, if I go to this place, my akhirah is going to suffer, right? And majorly what I'm going to look for there is the dunya. But if I'm going to look for dunya, my akhirah is going to suffer. Am I not supposed to, make some
prepare for it at least.
Yeah, take steps to make sure that things fall in place. So I think it still all boils down to that hadith, that love of this world and love of this world and dislike of death. So Ustaz, I was just talking about this hadith. I wanted us to finish on that. Yeah. Although it will probably be what we start with on the next episode, inshallah. We can't hear you. I think you're muted. So there's this hadith about dunya here to the mount. Now you know the hadith, right?
Yes.
Now, so I was just saying that that is more or less like a diagnosis of what is really wrong with us today compared to the companions for GLR and him. Like, if you look at all of these problems that we are talking about, it still always boils down to love of this world and the fear of death. That's my own understanding, or that's the way I've been able to view all of this. But I would want us to really go deep into it, maybe in the next episode.
As in Abu Hanifa, rahmatullah alayh.
No.
So, as in he commented on this, I think in one of his books, he said that mala ilm, that was even knowledge, as in was knowledge. You will say knowledge, as in was all about Islam, because they say that baqa'ul Islam bi baqa'il ilm, that Islam will still be in existence as far that people are still seeking knowledge. So if you want Islam to die, so it means that we stop seeking for knowledge, and it has been happening now, because I once did this like a survey within my students. I gave them one questionnaire to ask them that how many of you would like to study like Islamic studies, Arabic in school. I'm telling you, no one. I'm telling you, no one. They say, oh, hi, that I will pay. Then I will not be stars without money. Yeah, good. I'll be stars without money. That I was not doing this. No one. I said, I want to be a doctor. See, I'm telling you. So Abu Hanifa said that mal ilm illa mal ilm illa wal amal bi, that what we call knowledge is you seeking knowledge and then working towards it. One. Then, so this is what I want to. So this is my point. So it has said that wal amalu bihi, and then what's the real meaning of you as in working towards that knowledge is tarkul ajil lil ajil, tarkul ajil la ajil. But can we do that now? No. This is that you now as as in you doing as in doing your as in the work for a year after, as in living forsaking the worldly things because of akhirah.
Oh, the year after.
So kalla bal tuhibbuna ajila. That all of us, we are just looking for ajila, but what this I want, this I want that. Wa tadawun al akhirah, and you've forgotten about akhirah. So there are lots of things regarding that. I'm telling you a lot of things, because I'm telling you this will keep on happening. Because why? Because was mouth. We've not tested it. So and you see that seeing is believing, because we've not seen it. So that's why people will still keep on. That hubbudinya will keep on. Except inshallah, we will just keep on praying. Like what I've told people, that in Islam we are not created to criticize. So we are not created to judge. So this is one of our mistakes. So we are just created to advise. So to guide. But so that's why they say that don't assure yourself that this me I will enter the Jannah, I will do this. No, don't do that. So we are just to advise that. So what you are doing, this is what Allah has said about it. What you are doing, but now you will see Muslims brothers now assuring themselves that you enter fire, you will do this. So now they say if you are doing bad thing, even hatta zina. So if you do see someone doing zina, so we are not created to judge that person that you don't know. So they say that we should just look we should look at that behavior, that zina. But that person should be our Muslim. But we now it's not like that. We condemn everything. It's bad, it's good. And Muhammad Salah said the other day that Allah will later test you too with that. It means that you have assured yourself that you are clean on this. Then Allah will now use it to test you too later. That's why. So this hubbu dunya, we will just keep on advising people. We just keep on praying, and then we will keep on praying for ourselves too, because we are not because we are not safe also. This hubbu dunya, I'm telling you, as in, if we keep on, as in, if we start the topic now, see, it will take us years, days discussing about this dunya, because it has a lot of things inside, a lot. And one of the reasons why is that what is akhirah? So we just believe. So alhamdulillah. So that's why the dunya will always come before akhirah. See, we can't run away from that. So we just keep on advising it. We just keep on that this. I'm telling you, but I'm telling people will still keep on. See, as in a lot of advices, a lot of as in preachings, a lot, but are people still changing? Just imagine that I had someone now, as in how he beheaded his friend because of 200,000 naira. Just because of 200,000 naira. Are we still changing? So why? Because they say akhirah. She is believing now. And now, so that's why. So the only remedy that I see to this, that we should just try as much as possible. We should just keep on seeking Islamic knowledge, no matter how. We should not forsake Islamic studies. But this is our major problem now. So that's why what I said earlier, that this Sheikh said, the ta'lim muta'allim, that baqa'ul ilm, baqa'ul Islam, baqa'ul ilm, that Islam will keep on existing as far we are seeking knowledge. But if we want to kill Islam, we should stop seeking, and it has been happening. It has been happening. We are not seeking. So I raised one issue, and please, and I will like us to discuss it, because it has been disturbing me a lot.
Right now.
Yeah, wallahi, and the topic is that wallahi, I even discussed it with one of my sheikh, and seriously, he was happy that mashallah that that we'll talk about it later is about can't we as in how will I even put it? Because I'm sorry, I'm more of like as an Arabic, so sometimes I don't know.
To convert
I'm not
Arabic.
that, but let me just put this way, like that. Can't we as in improve Islam, as in to to digitize Islam, something is in that way. Let me use that as in,
Okay.
for Islam to improve. That will our Islam will still be stagnant, be in some as in can't we just improve it? That's now. But one of the things that he told me that the major problem I will see in this that people will criticize me that bid'ah, 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 bid'ah. But I told him that this is not about bid'ah, sir. It's about our future. Now technology is taking over everything. Do you believe that now that there are still some Islamic schools that are still sitting on ground, they're still using chalk? And can't we improve on that? And we say that Islam will still be. We just have to, and inshallah, and there's nothing like bid'ah, inshallah. We will still make sure that everything is still intact. But we just have to improve on this. So that's why I say, hubbu dunya, just keep on praying. We just keep on praying. But seriously, still, no matter how, this dunya, so a lot of things are happening. A lot. So this is a very as a big topic to discuss on.
I think I shouldn't have brought it up then. I think I should have just maybe I should have just postponed it to the next
Yeah.
So we'll just continue from maybe we start from that hadith in the next episode.
Inshallah.
From there we extend out.
So please, can I bring one hadith now? That thing just came up to my mind so that to round up our this thing now.
Okay, yeah, there's one conclude on that. No.
There's one hadith that I used to hear a lot of people say commenting on that, and I used to hear a lot of scholars now mentioning that as an evidence. So there's one hadith about our discussion today that's about our japa, as the living countries. No. So like it's recommended that no matter how your country will always be your country, but they used to use one hadith for like to back it up, that they used to say hubbul watan min al iman, that loving someone's country is part of iman. Please, I want to make a clarification that hadith is makdhub, is not authentic. That is, you loving your country, that you that now we are fond of it now, and it used to happen a lot that you say, mean Nigeria, God forbid, hey, I will live as in we are showing that as in showing that kind of attitude. So they say that person is not doing the right thing. That you showing love to your country is part of iman, but the hadith is wrong. It's not. It's no. So there is a lie. It's not. But it is just part of what Islam recommended to us, that we should love our country. But you now say that his hadith, that's what people. So it's wrong. So that's just the picture. It's wrong. The hadith is not authentic, but a lot of scholars used to use it as evidence, but it's wrong. So it's not hadith that hubbul watan min al iman. Hubbul watani min al iman. The hadith is makdhub, inshallah. So that's what I've just.
Jazakumullah khair. That was a really interesting session. I've benefited a lot from this session, and I believe every one of us has maybe picked one or two things from this.
Yeah, thank you a lot. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
May Allah put barakah in the discussion. So at this point, we will call it an end, and then hopefully in some weeks to come, inshallah, we'll continue on this topic now, inshallah. So now, is there something I'm missing out? I don't know if Hassan. Okay, that's good. All right. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. نعم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
بإسلامي وإيماني أضاء الكون وزمن. بإسلامي وإيماني أضاء الكون وزمن